welcome to another Amberlynn Reid reaction video. I could not, in good faith, do the last reaction because Amber was just banking on human suffering and completely not paying attention to what Jordy was actually saying. She was entirely too hell-bent on calling him boring and saying she doesn't understand. Anyway, I can, and do, have it in me to react to this one, where she talks about quitting keto and all of the problems she is having with her gallbladder and her mental health. Because she is lying. She is lying about what her medical professionals are telling her to do, and she is misrepresenting the keto diet. And I can prove it, and I do, in the video. It just takes a matter of 5 minutes to do the bare minimum of research to prove that she's wrong. Also, in the description, I have provided some links to Overeaters Anonymous and a couple of eating disorder clinics that are in Amberlynn's area, in case she ever watches this video and actually does want to get help. Anyway, on with the show.
Hey guys.
Hi, Amber.
So welcome to my video, which
Oh boy.
would be day 4, November 6th of 100 Days of Weighing In.
Man, you are really far behind with your uploads.
But this happened.
Ooh, TikTok gate.
I ate this whole thing last night over, I want to say like a 6-hour period, but still.
I mean, at least it wasn't a binge. If it was a binge, you'd have scarfed that down in like 20 minutes or less.
Fact that I ate them all,
Nasty ass Chips Ahoy cookies. Couldn't pick a better brand.
is not okay. 12 servings per container. It's like 1,700 calories for that whole thing. And
damn, that's more than I eat in a day.
it's most definitely not keto. I am extremely mad at myself. I have so many thoughts right now.
And none of them are, I should check myself into inpatient. If she was really mad at herself, she would be doing that instead of coming onto YouTube and monetizing human suffering. But here we are.
And they're just all jumbled, and they stay jumbled. No matter how much I journal, no matter how much I go to therapy, talk to my psychologist, no matter how much medicine I take or don't take,
Notice she didn't say anything about talking to friends or the girlfriend.
I'm afraid that I'm gonna be that one person who just doesn't heal from this eating disorder. So
of course, go ahead and set yourself up for failure just like you've been doing for the last 10 years.
as you guys know, I was doing keto. So I was enjoying.
No, you weren't. No, you were not doing keto, Amberlynn Reid. You were just eating the low end of keto junk food. You were not doing a proper keto diet.
Keto in the beginning, the first week, I will
You're lying. You were whining about it within a matter of days.
Say. And then I started noticing like I was just feeling super sick, not in the sense of like keto flu, because I know exactly what that is.
Sure you do.
Because I have family members, they did keto for years.
2 family members. She has 2 family members. One is an aunt who doesn't necessarily like her, and the other is her mother, who is a very questionable human being, generally speaking. And she is taking those 2 people as expert advice.
Years. So I know exactly like what keto flu is. This was all about my gallbladder, which
Sure.
Oh boy, I knew wasn't a good idea. I always knew that keto was not a good idea if you have gallstones.
No, Amber, you just don't want to give up carbohydrates and sugar. And a real keto diet has no carbohydrates and no sugar.
I was told to do keto. I was told to have very high fat. The lymphedema specialist said you need to do very low carb, below
I believe that part.
50 grams, and you need to have a lot of fat, like 200 grams a day.
That I do not believe. And I'll tell you why.
because I took 5 minutes and did the bare minimum amount of research, and I found totallipedemawellness.com, and they have highlighted here something called the RAD diet, which is the rare adipose disorder diet. And it says here to avoid things like grass-fed organic beef, bacon, cold cuts, cured meats, which also means red meat, period. Like, just avoid beef. They're expecting you to eat better quality stuff. They want you to avoid canned vegetables, corn, white potatoes, canned and dried fruits, roasted and salted nuts and seeds, and nut butters. They want you to avoid margarine and hydrogenated fats, out of the box breakfast cereals, no white breads, pasta, rice, or biscuits, no pizza, no yogurt, no ice cream, no refined sugars, artificial sweeteners, maple sugar, honey, stevia, or agave, no nutritional or energy bars, and no fruit juices or energy drinks. They also want you to eat these other things, very sparingly. Chicken and seafood, melon, kiwi, grapes, pineapples, peaches, plums, apples, and apricots, buckwheat, millet, chickpeas, oats, cornmeal, and wild rice, organic grass-fed cow's milk and cheese. They don't want you to have smoothies, spirits, wine, or other alcoholic infusions, and dark chocolate or soy products. Amber's lipedema specialist, if they are actually a real person and not just somebody Amber is making up, would have gone through all of this with her if they really did have 30 years in the field. They would have gone through all of this with her and outlined what she should avoid. And also, her primary care doctor would have told her to avoid basically the same things because, again, 5 more minutes of research, and here, right on the Google search page, it says to avoid high-fat foods such as chocolate, whole milk, ice cream, processed cheese, and egg yolks, fried or deep fried or buttered foods, sausage, salami, and bacon, again with the cured meats, cinnamon rolls, cakes, pies, cookies, and other pastries, prepared snack foods such as potato chips, nuts, granola bars, and mixed nuts. So the lipedema diet and the gallbladder health diet are basically the same thing. Amber is lying here. She is lying, or she's misrepresenting all of these medical professionals. And if I was that specialist and I saw this video, I would politely ask her to go and find a different specialist because I wouldn't want to deal with her.
Wasn't have any, like, I was not having anywhere near that when I was doing keto. I was having more fat than usual though, because I was eating like steak and pork rinds.
Garbage. She was eating garbage.
And I eat like a lot of low fat things. No,
you're lying. You're lying.
I wouldn't say low fat. I don't eat a lot of pork rinds and steak when I am not doing keto.
Because meat creeps you out, like you say, over and over and over again.
It just felt like the main source of food I was getting was protein and fat.
Because you weren't fucking doing it right.
Which is what keto is. And
no, it's not. No, it's not.
It was making my gallbladder hurt really bad and I was feeling really sick. I started having like really bad greasy diarrhea, which is from my gallstones. And
So I am post-gastric bypass. I am 20 years post-gastric bypass. And when I had my gastric bypass, my doctor opted to not take my gallbladder out because I never had problems with it before. So I still have it now. And after surgery, that is when I started having problems, like about 4 or 5 years after my weight loss. Not like while I was experiencing rapid weight loss, but a long time after the fact when I started to mess around with my eating habits. When I eat garbage foods, that is when I have intestinal uncoolness. That is when I have abdominal pain. That is when things flare up. So I do not eat garbage foods. I eat a rather clean diet most of the time, but I do still have a very, very strong weakness for chili cheese fries. And I have been known to suffer through some stuff just for a few bites.
I haven't experienced that in a long time. It was on Friday. I ended up calling my doctor.
She called her doctor over diarrhea. This girl does not want to feel any kind of discomfort ever. She called her doctor and wasted their time over diarrhea.
I needed reassurance that it's going to be okay. I needed something. There wasn't any, unfortunately.
Amber, it's not that big a deal. Just don't eat garbage.
They said that I shouldn't do keto.
No, Amber, they told you to stop eating whatever it is you're eating that is making it flare. They didn't tell you to stop doing keto because you're not fucking doing keto. You're just eating keto junk food.
This is what I am currently experiencing, okay? Anyways,
It's not that big a deal. It is not that big a deal.
I feel like people hate on me and nitpick and complain about anything and everything when it comes to me. So
No, Amber. No, they don't. I personally only complain and nitpick when you're fucking lying. And you are fucking lying. You're lying on one or more medical professional, and you're lying about whatever disorders you have. That is the only time that I nitpick on you.
I don't care anymore.
You've never cared, Amber. You haven't cared in the 10 years that you've been on YouTube.
I'm just going to be honest, and I'm going to be here. And
When? When are you going to be honest?
I'm going to be present, and I'm going to share with you guys.
If you were here and present, Amber, you'd be doing your own fucking research.
What I feel like is right, share. And in this moment, this is what I am currently going through. I have...
Amber, this is not the right thing to share. This is not the right thing to monetize.
A lymphedema specialist telling me what diet to eat. I have my doctor telling me not to do that diet. And I have my psychologist from a binge eating disorder clinic telling me not to diet at all. Because
Amber, the binge eating disorder clinic, if that person is real, is telling you not to restrict. If you're hungry, then eat. That's what they're telling you to do. They're not telling you not to diet. Your lipedema specialist and your primary care doctor are telling you, don't eat so much fat, don't take in so much carbohydrates, don't eat so much sugars, don't eat so much processed foods. That's what they're telling you. You're lying somewhere. You're lying, you're misrepresenting, or you're straight up fucking trolling us right now.
Because I need to heal and I need to stop relapsing with this binge eating disorder.
You need to check yourself in to an inpatient clinic. There is an eating disorder clinic in Lexington, Kentucky called Pathways that has a 1-week residential inpatient program where they teach you how to care for yourself, how to cook for yourself, and how to manage your binge eating disorder. I think that you should look them up. I will put a link in the description.
So I have 3 specialists, 1, 2, 3, and they all have their own, advice and what they think is right. And all of them say something different.
No, they're not, Amber. They're not saying something different. You're just listening to them selectively.
I don't know what to do. I want to listen to health professionals. You guys tell me to do so.
But you're not. You're not doing it at all. You're just hearing what you want to hear and doing what you want to do.
No, I need to do so, but who? Which one? Because I don't know. I am so confused. Clearly, Ozempic and keto did not work because of gallstones.
Amber, that is incorrect. The Ozempic did not work for you because you ate through the nausea. You ate regardless of how you felt. You split your meals up a whole bunch of tiny little meals so that you could stop before you got nauseous, wait 20 minutes, eat a little more. You staggered out your binges. That is why the Ozempic didn't work. And the keto didn't work because you weren't fucking doing keto. You were just eating keto garbage.
My gallbladder doesn't have the option of being taken out yet.
That is incorrect, Amber. That is incorrect. Your gallbladder could be taken out if you were a smaller human being. It does not have to be infected to need to be removed. If you have frequent flare-ups, your doctor will tell you to have it taken out. Aside from that, there are medications she can take that her doctor would have suggested and prescribed to her that will alleviate the sludge and break down the stones. There is also over-the-counter supplements she could take, like milk thistle and other things, that she could just go to Walmart and pick up. And there are modifications to her diet, like reducing the amount of salt she takes in, reducing the amount of sugars, reducing the amount of refined carbohydrates, and reducing the amount of fats. She is fucking lying here.
Because it has to be infected. Any doctor I've talked to, I've seen a surgeon, even my doctor now, plus my weight plays a big role in
There, it's her weight. It's her weight.
Like why they aren't prompted to do surgery. Why is everything working against me when
It's not, Amber. The only thing working against you is you, sweetheart.
I'm trying so hard to do everything that I'm fucking being told.
No, you're not trying at all. You're not trying at all. You haven't tried at all in 10 years. You vaguely start a fad diet. You vaguely read through the instructions of some diet that a doctor suggests for you. You eat all the junk food. You decide you hate it, and then you go back to your favorite addiction foods. You don't try, Amber.
Like, I can blame myself for the last 30 years of my life.
When are you going to do that? When are you going to start blaming yourself? Because you haven't yet.
And I will blame myself.
When? Eventually?
The last 30 years of my life. But I can't blame myself now because I am doing everything that the doctors are telling me to
No, you're not. No, you're not.
Do. And I just feel so lost. I feel so scared. I feel hopeless. I feel defeated.
Defeated, but she hasn't even started. And lost, she, again, hasn't even started, doesn't even read anything properly, won't do her own research. All she wants is somebody to hold her fucking hand, tell her what to do it for her, and make sure she doesn't hurt or feel discomfort or have to put any real effort in. That's what Amber wants.
I really, really, truly don't know what to do anymore. A lot of people can look at this and be like, it's so simple, just count your calories.
No, Amber, that's what you think. That's what you think people think. That is not what people tell you. That is not what people say in the comments. They're telling you to focus on your macros. Eat clean, eat whole foods. Stop eating packaged garbage. Stop eating sugar. Put down the fucking carbohydrates.
For someone with binge eating disorder, not that easy. Binge eating disorder is a disorder, like a chemical disorder.
Ma'am, no, you are wrong here. Binge eating disorder is not a chemical disorder. If it had anything to do with brain chemistry, it would be called a syndrome or a disease. A disorder is a learned behavior. You are not suffering from Prader-Willi syndrome. You are not compelled to overeat because you have a brain defect, Amberlynn Reed. You have a normal, average human brain that has been affected by addiction. Anyone who is affected by addiction would behave like you.
Your brain is functioning differently as a normal human. This isn't something that I just choose to be.
Yes, it is, Amber. Yes, it is. You can choose to fight against your addiction. You can choose to fight against your addiction. You can find other things to fill your time. You can find other reasons to exist. You can find something bigger and more important than you. You choose to maintain your addiction. You choose to wallow in victimhood and self-pity. You choose this lifestyle, like you choose your own thumbnails, like you choose to do mukbangs, like you choose to troll, like you choose to lie. You choose to maintain this addiction.
I know a lot of people heal from this. I get that all the time. You know, if I can do it, you can do it type thing. Or if, like, why can't you do it? I did it. Like, I hate when people say that.
She hates when people compare her to others that have been in her place and beaten the addiction and succeeded. She hates that, but she will compare herself to Ethan Klein, David Dobrik, and Trisha Paytas all day long. And I'm sure that if you let her, she'd compare herself to Katy Perry too. But God forbid you ever compare her to anybody in her own actual peer group.
Like, everyone is different. Everyone goes through different things. I turn to
See?
food. 2 is a serving.
You don't have to turn to food, Amber. You don't have to turn to food. I myself am a recovering food addict. I had a terrible, terrible sugar addiction. In my teenage years, I would eat a pound of straight sugar cubes in less than 24 hours and not bat an eyelash. And then I would go home and eat several giant plates of pasta. Now that I have had my gastric bypass and am no longer able to consume sugar without extreme pain, I turn to other things. Yes, I am also a recovering alcoholic because addiction transfer is a thing. Eventually, one day, we will talk about that in a separate video. But now I turn to art. I turn to reading. I turn to activities. I go hiking. I go urban exploring. I read science fiction. I study history. And I study religion. All of those things have nothing to do with food. You can pick other things to turn to than food, Amberlynn Reed. This is just an excuse. This is just you setting yourself up to maintain your addiction.
I'm sure people are like, why did you have these in your house? Well, I had them in my house because I bought them.
Your girlfriend is aware that you have a food addiction. Your girlfriend is aware that you have binge eating disorder. Why isn't she monitoring what comes into the house? And why is she allowing you access to money and technology for you to order these things? Because I assume that since she is aware that you have binge eating disorder, while she is out shopping, she doesn't allow you to buy these things. I would assume that. So you're getting these things somehow because you have access to money and technology. Your girlfriend should take that the fuck away from you if she actually cares. Now, let's go back to the addiction swapping thing or addiction transfer. Again, I am a recovering alcoholic. My husband, on days where I feel like I may have a relapse or I may fall off the wagon, so to speak, I'll let him know, and he will make sure that there is no money in the house and I have no access to money. He won't even leave change in the house because I can get shit-faced drunk for under $5. Amber really needs to have her girlfriend come with her to this eating disorder clinic and talk to this therapist because she needs to help Amber. If she really is there, if she really is that supportive, then she needs to fucking help Amber. This is unacceptable.
Because during my rage of just wanting to binge and overeat, I buy things that I shouldn't. Like if it was easy, if losing weight was easy or eating disorders were something that is just like a light switch, then no one would be fat. No.
It kind of is just like a light switch. It kind of is. Addiction is when you realize that you are done, when you realize that you want to be clean, that you are finished being a slave, it is a light switch. It really is.
No one would have eating disorders. No one would see therapists. No one would have psychologists.
No one would have eating disorders if we weren't trained to hate ourselves.
There wouldn't be freaking eating disorder clinics. Like it wouldn't be a thing. And it's just, I have so much to unpack in therapy.
If you have so much to unpack in therapy, why are you doing it on YouTube?
Oh my God, I have 30 fucking 1 years of just hell to unpack in therapy, and I'm not going to heal anytime soon.
Yeah, go ahead and set yourself up for failure again, babe.
I don't know what I want from myself, let alone what you guys want from me.
I don't want anything from you, Amberlynn Reed. My opinion really doesn't matter in the long and short of anything. I'm just a viewer. It is worrying that you are 31 years old and you don't know what you want to do with your life or what you want out of life. That is a little worrying. But you are the one that should be worrying about it. You should not worry what your viewers want. You should not worry what I want. Your health is what matters.
I posted a TikTok actually last night.
And you shouldn't have done that.
Was kind of just like depicting what I go through right before I binge.
She was depicting what she goes through right before a binge, but it took her 6 hours to eat that pack of cookies. So it wasn't a real binge. She was just glorifying it and miming to get attention.
It's kind of emotional, but I just
Kind of emotional. She means melodramatic.
Wanted to make people feel less alone because I know there's people out there who also struggle. And
now, it doesn't make any sense to me. It really just looked like she was glorifying it or parodying this binge. And for me personally, with the alcohol, let's use Sinatra Says, for example. I am no longer subscribed to his second channel. And the reason for that is because he and Shelly get really fucking drunk while they're reacting to Amber on stream. And they glorify the alcohol. They have all kinds of really fancy stuff and special labels, and Sinatra does this whole mixology thing. And it puts me in a place where I start to think that, hey, I kind of want to join them. That might be a little fun. So to avoid that, I don't watch his channel at all anymore. And for her to post this video of her eating this cookie, people that suffer from binge eating disorder, that's going to trigger them. That's going to set them off. That's going to make them want to go in the cabinet or call Uber Eats and have a whole bunch of cookies and garbage delivered to their house. Yay, Amber.
last night I felt really alone. I felt so alone. And
why don't you have any friends? Why don't you have any actual real friends? People that you're not related to, people that are not related to any exes of yours, people that don't live in your house. Why don't you have any friends to talk to?
I was like, I don't want no one else to feel that way because I know how hard this is and how scary. My question for you is, why are you let down / disappointed by something that my doctor clearly said I should not do?
I'm not let down or disappointed. I am disgusted in you, Amberlynn Reed, because you're fucking lying. You are fucking lying on medical professionals right now.
Because I have gallstones. Are you let down because you want to be let down for entertainment reasons?
I don't understand what the fuck she means here. Let down for entertainment reasons. It's not entertaining to be continuously strung along like some battered housewife. And oh, I'll change. It'll be better this time. Nah.
which I know some of you are. And then the portion of you who like do care about me and my journey, what do you guys advise that I should do?
I advise you, Amberlynn Reed, to get the fuck off of YouTube and check yourself into Impatient. Make wifey Jade take care of the pets and take care of the apartment while you were gone. Check yourself in. Get yourself healthy. Get yourself straight. And then come back to YouTube and rebuild your channel.
And yes, I'm asking you guys for advice
I just gave it.
because I am receiving advice from all these professionals, but they're all different.
No, I do not think that is true.
I just want to hear what you guys think
I already told you.
because right now I'm just really confused and I feel defeated.
Defeated, but she hasn't even started yet.
So my
10 years, she ain't even started yet.
steps forward is I am going to keep a food journal.
That's not a very big step forward, and it's not going to do you any good anyway. You don't record the oils you use. You don't record the seasonings you use. You just record what's on the package of your prepackaged garbage. And you don't even measure out proper servings. You just fucking eyeball it. And your eyeballing of a single serving is usually 1.5 to 2 servings. So whatever, babe.
And I'm going to write down everything that I eat. I am not going to count calories because that is exactly what my psychologist says do not do. So
Your psychologist probably told you to eat a lot of high volume, low fat, low carbohydrate foods.
that can help with my binge eating. But I am going to be intuitive.
Amber, you just said you have binge eating disorder. Therefore, your intuition cannot be trusted. So, if you're going to eat intuitively, you have already failed.
Based on the amount that I'm eating, and then I'm going to drink.
In other words, she's just going to stuff herself until she feels like she needs to stop.
Drink more water and try to have more movement in my day, like walking mixed with.
These are all really great goals, Amber, but in 10 years, you've never been able to maintain it. What is going to change?
With not as much pork rinds and things to that extent. So I am trying to take the advice from each professional that I'm seeing, and I'm going to like put it together and create something because I'm just kind of stuck right now.
Amber, don't do that. Don't do that. Get rid of this psychologist because, first of all, I don't think it's real anyway. Because no psychologist is going to call somebody an empath because it's not a thing. She needs to do proper research. She needs to get a proper dietitian in her life. And she needs to seek therapy for her trauma.
Right now. As for my weigh-in today, I did gain weight, obviously.
Holy fuck.
497.4, so that's not fun at all. And I decided that on days that I binge, I am going, after my weigh-in, I'm going to write that I binged with a little arrow showing that I binged the night before or the day before, just
how dainty.
So I can see based on like how my weight fluctuates or whatever it may be.
Oh, that little sad face.
Wow. Okay. In closing, my personal opinion and belief is that everything from Ozempic to the gallbladder issue, including the fall, has been greatly over-exaggerated and orchestrated to gain our girl her sympathy views back and her optimism views back. I don't think that she is ever going to change. I don't think that she has ever intended to change. I do believe that during her lowest point in her life, where she was making the most money, is completely orchestrated because she had enough money to get proper, really good help at the time and didn't do it. I have no faith. I have no hope. And it's not for me to have faith or hope in Amberlynn Reed. It is for her. And it is very clear that she has no faith and no hope and no desire to better herself or be a better person or do anything different than just feed her addiction and succumb to her carnal, basic, frivolous, mundane, shallow desires. That is all I have to say. Be kind to yourselves, love yourselves, and do something creative. Bye.
As an energy of source.